We're going to bring in now retired Brigadier General for the U.S. Air Force, Deputy Military Representative to NATO, and a NewsMax contributor, Blaine Holt, along with Professor at the University of Connecticut, Dr. Kazem Kazerounian. Thank you both so much for being here, gentlemen. Appreciate it. General Holt, I want to start with you and get your reaction and your takeaways from what we heard at the Pentagon this morning.
Yeah, I mean, what you heard today was resolve and that we are on track to get to our objectives, that Operation Freedom is of a limited nature to guarantee navigation. But there's going to be non-Defense Department work or Department of War work that has to come to bear right now. And that is it's not that you have just a bunch of scared sailors who say, I got to stay here, there might be a missile. Look, they're living in hell on those boats. They want out. And so they'll take the escorts from the United States Navy. But Lloyd's of London and all of their insurance providers need to go ahead and provide the daggum insurance and not threaten them if they take United States insurance. And so we've got to get the straits open financially. We've got to get the straits open militarily. I think we're on that track. It is going to take a few days, but we're also running out of time on the planting season in Africa. Fertilizer is a big deal, and we do have an energy shortage around the world. So that part of this operation has to get taken care of, and it has to get in a robust sense taken care of quickly.
Yeah, it certainly does. And the briefing today, of course, this comes on the heels of Iran re-escalating the war by hitting the UAE with new missile and drone attacks on the Strait of Hormuz. Since these are their first strikes on the UAE since the ceasefire began last month, Professor, I'm wondering, do you maybe sense some desperation from the regime right now?
Yes, good morning and wonderful to be with you. I think what we are seeing right now is bigger than just a regional conflict. You really have multiple things coming together here. The Iranian regime trying to survive. As General said, world and above all probably China need energy, and the U.S. pressure on Iran, of course. And, China is the world's largest importer of oil. A big chunk of that energy comes through the Strait of Hormuz. So stability in that region is critical for them. At the same time, they have been basically an economic lifeline for the Iranian regime. They're buying about 90% of the oil. And a lot of that money comes up in the hands of the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guards. So it isn't just a normal trade, it's actually helping sustain the regime's military activities. And if you look at the regime, we have to understand their strategy. Their strategy is that dragging United States into a long, unwinnable, asymmetric war, and war that's actually a ground war. And inside Iran, the regime wants to create a factor of fear. Executions are increasing daily, executions of political prisoners, members of MEK, the main opposition group, and those who were arrested in January uprising, just to create fear, as I mentioned. They talk about negotiations with the United States, and you mentioned desperation, but it is out of desperation. But that is often targeted to buy time. At the same time, they're trying to pull United States into this asymmetric war that United States should try hard not to get into. And the Iranian people are not part of this strategy. They are the ones that are paying the price. They want a normal life. They want freedom. They want economic stability. They want a free economy country, free markets economy. And there is an organized alternative inside Iran that the world needs to pay attention to. NCRI, National Council of Resistance of Iran, that has a clear vision. A democratic republic, separation of religion and state, gender equality, free market, and a non-nuclear Iran. So, yes, global powers are trying to manage this solution, but the solution isn't going to come from Beijing or Washington or any European countries. The solution is inside Iran with its own people and organized resistance.
Yeah. General, I want to jump off of that, what the professor was saying about the economy over there, what the people want to see. Talk to us about what's happening right now with Iran's economy as the U.S. continues to put pressure on the regime?
Well, the economy is decimated. It has been for quite some time. Iran hasn't really managed its financial affairs in a way that's benevolent to the people. But the drought that, mercifully just got broken with some rain showers the other night, but the drought has been horrendous. So you've got hyperinflation. You've got businesses that, unless they're state-owned, there's no businesses. You've got 90 million people that are never going to see a better opportunity than right now to hit this regime. And whenever this regime threatens us, Tracy, it's not even messaging us. It's messaging the 90 million to give the theater that they're still very much in control, that they're negotiating with the U.S. They threw a couple of missiles into the straits, but they're just a paper tiger at this point. And China's stepping away. China's got a very tense negotiation with President Trump coming up in 2 weeks. And now that we have our Indonesian defense pact done, we're essentially got a little choke point between Venezuela and Indonesia on about 80% of the energy stocks for China. So this is great power competition. That's what it looks like. There's no Cub Scouts here, but there will be a revolution. We will aid and abet that revolution, and then I think there's really good days ahead. Number one on my list, and I'll be a broken record here, is those oil wells cannot be allowed to go defunct. That sends this planet to a very bad place because of the second and third order effects. If we lose those wells that are in Iran, the free people of Iran don't get an economy. China and great powers in Asia, our allies, don't get oil and gas that they have to have. And so I think we'll start to see activity at Kharg Island soon, and maybe empty tankers coming up and draining it by force if necessary. But I think we're going to see military action get a little bit more robust in the days ahead.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're hearing, too, from some sources, and this uprising may happen imminently in a month or two. What are you hearing, General?
Yeah, I've got sources all over that region. And my understanding is that a lot of the preparation that essentially started in earnest back when the B-2s hit Iran last June, it's time. They know it's time. They've got a great communication network. There are many folks inside the IRGC and the so-called Iranian government right now that are ready to flip, are providing intelligence. And so I think we will see something spark off. What we're not seeing is 130,000 U.S. troops on the ground facing IEDs, terrorism, sectarian violence, and all the other stuff. So this is a very different approach, one that the enemies of the president are wringing their hands over.
All right, and unfortunately, we have to leave it right there. General Holt, Professor Kazerounian, thank you both so much, gentlemen, for being with us. Wonderful to get your insights. Appreciate it.
Thank you.